Hello and welcome to a special episode for a special occasion. In this episode, we join the Northwest Overland Rally for a fun and educational weekend. Seeing cool rigs, cool vendors, obstacle runs, and of course, we burn it.
Alrighty, my friend, we're here at Northwest Overland Rally. This is the first day when everybody was just setting up and rolling in, setting up your tent. I just got my tent set up and awning set up, and we're just going to walk around. It's a pretty chill day. There's usually not much going on, but we will check out some great rigs, and maybe the vendors will be around and we can maybe chat with them before it gets busy tomorrow. Oh, and by the way, they sort of keep the camping area in two sections. One is the quiet section, one is the not so quiet section. Basically at nighttime, the quiet section goes to sleep and the not so quiet section do not go to sleep. You can take a guess which section I am in.
This is my first overland event in the US. I've always seen blog posts and videos on these events, people coming from different places with all sorts of build out. Other than the everyday lifted trucks with roof tent, you get to see rare builds like fire trucks conversion, 4x4 converted vans, earth roamers, Aussie canopies, just to name a few. A walk in the attendee camping area is a show on its own, not to mention the daily activities and cool vendors.
Knowing where north is, true north versus magnetic north.
You probably could tell I am biased towards Land Cruisers, so I couldn't walk past Land Cruiser Northwest booth without stopping to say hi. This year marks their 20 years in the business. That's 20 years of Land Cruiser shop experience, not to count the years tinkering cruisers in their garage before opening a shop. Besides, what's a Land Cruiser diehard without a Land Cruiser tattoo? Jokes aside, I walked around the event attempting to take a photo of every single Land Cruiser. Perhaps I've missed a few, but to my surprise, there's quite a number of us. I guess since US has been selling Land Cruisers till 200 series, whereas Canada only had up to a few years of ID. No wonder you get to see more of them south the border. If you've been to Overland Rally, there's a keyword you definitely know. Burn it. Around sunset, we gathered by the fire pit for the iconic giveaway. Each attendee would get a raffle ticket, each prize draw number is called 3 times, and if still no response by then, into the fire it goes. Sometimes when the host only called to the first digit, you could already hear the kids yelling.
It is a field hunting stool, and it has a storage koozie underneath. You can throw it full of beer, which is exactly what you need when you're hunting, right? As you say, knows we do. 1724. Who's got 1724? Nice little koozie stool. 1724. Not koozie stool. Cooler stool. 1724 going twice. Okay, we're gonna burn it.
The main schedule starts the next day. After a slow morning at our base camp, it is time for activities.
Alrighty guys, I am here at Cascadia 4x4s booth. Actually, I do have one on my 100 before, the one that I rode. And I know a lot of people have been saying, why would you put a solar on your hood, on your bonnet, whatever you call it? It's kind of overheating and whatnot when you're driving. So here's the thing, I do want to clear a couple things out since we are here what I can tell you is, when you're driving, where does your power come from? You don't really need a solar when you're driving to charge your battery, right? And so this is essentially the same idea as if you were to put something on your roof when you're staged, when you're parked, when your engine is not running, creating any heat. And the difference is between putting this on your hood versus on your roof, you do still have contact with the metal and then they heat up similar amount, whereas the Cascadia 4x4 has an air bubble underneath and they have a thick foam tape to create that air gap so you can have some sort of, what would you call it?
Bit of an air pocket to help with cooling.
Who is this guy?
My name's Dave. I'm one of the owners of Cascadia 4x4. And yeah, these are our hood solar systems. So they work kind of as a constant trickle charge for your vehicle battery. As just Monique said, when you're driving, your alternator's charging your vehicle battery, so you don't really need the solar at that point. But when you're stopped, this is always trickle charging your battery. So currently in our booth here right now, like we're running a fridge, fans, charging computers, all off of just these solar panels connected to a standard vehicle battery. And it can keep up with that, no problem.
Cool thing is, it is vehicle specific, so for here you can see how it's shaped to whatever the hood shape you are. And there we have another Jeep's hood. It's got those two little notch cut out from the middle too, so you can really utilize most of the space. And on top of your hood is usually where you don't load your stuff. People do tend to load a bunch of things on the roof, and when you have your backtracks and I don't know, bags carrying boxes, you don't really have a place for a big solar panel on your roof, and the real estate on your hood is kind of untapped, good for gathering some sun power.
If you do want to put something on your roof though, we came out with these roof rack specific solar panels. So it's the same construction as our hood solar systems, but it's mounted to a thick aluminum backsheet. So it's super sturdy. You can actually stack gear and totes or walk on top of these when they're on your roof rack and you're not going to wreck the solar panels. So that's a good way to go if you either can't run a hood solar panel because you have a Toyota with a hood scoop, or you just want to make use of your roof rack space.
Usually I don't pay too much attention on lighting vendors. They more or less all look the same until this unique idea caught my eye. If you have a bed rack or canopy on the back of your truck, you're most likely blocking the third brake light on the cab. This design utilized a hitch receiver to add a third brake light and reverse light. Universal fitment, plug into factory connector.
So starting here, if you were to have your factory hitch receiver, you're just going to unplug that. You're going to come in here, take your new adapter, plug that in line. Then you're going to take your DT, you're going to fish that through your hitch receiver, plug in your pod. That light's going to turn into an automatic red running light with your tail lights. You hit the brakes, it's going to give you a hyper flash, extra bright red running light. It's going to give you automatically switch into your reverse lights when you put in reverse.
Very cool. And it just clips in here, and if you want to secure it.
Yeah, and if you want to go ahead and secure it, you just take this back out, go ahead and just put a drill that out, pop it back in, and you can fit a security pin straight through the lock.
Very cool.
After a good cup of iced coffee from the hardware store across the street, we watched some obstacle runs on the mini off-road course they set up in the trees. Some wheel lift action was entertaining. The team of certified trainers at Overland Training Canada is here guiding every tricky corners. I've been on a training trip with them 3 years ago before they renamed from Overlanding BC to Overland Training Canada. They're also the official Rebel Rally trainers. This is something different than my regular solo trips. Although one could be skeptical and say, oh, you'd rather camp in a parking lot with tons of people than being in the mountains having the scenery all to yourself. It is great to come out and meet people, seeing the new invention in the industry and hearing others' travel stories. Plus, they host trail runs and bring you to the mountains nearby too. I had heaps of fun. Perhaps I'll see you next year? Maybe? I asked the organizer if I could fly a drone at the event, knowing it's America and people will shoot it down. I got the permission, but still almost got shot down. So I'll say, maybe.
Okay, apparently a 5-minute install of a hitch light, third brake light, and reverse light. Let's see how long it takes him to do it. We're now at 10 seconds.
Yeah, pressure.
So much for the 5-minute.
I'm not the only one.
Oh!
I got kisses at least.